Aloha and welcome to all of my YouTube subscribers across the world. Lotus Dawn here, coming to you live to wish you a very happy Friday the 13th. And I wanted to share with you, I wanted to reveal the truth. What is Friday the 13th? What is it really about? Now, if you're like me, you've probably grown up hearing that Friday the 13th is bad or evil or unlucky, that the number 13 is somehow evil or bad. Well, I'm going to share with you the true history of the number 13 and actually reveal that 13 is quite a cosmic, powerful, divine feminine portal number. To start off with, number one, did you know that if you were to look at the humps of a turtle's back, that turtle actually has 13 humps, which relate to the fact that if you follow a lunar calendar, I'm going to take this hat off, there are actually 13 moon cycles per year. Okay. And so the number 13 relates to the energetic of nature, the rhythm of the lunar cycles. And there are actually 13 lunar cycles per year, which coincides with the number of female menstrual cycles. And so the number 13 deeply resonates with the divine feminine, deeply resonates with the energy of Mother Earth. And I just found it really interesting that during these times where there's so much intensity, I could feel in the collective almost like a deep heaviness around this Friday the 13th energy. And so I wanted to come to you live to speak to this, to stand up to the energy being transmitted and broadcasted of fear and of a lie, really. So, why did the number 13 get such a bad rap? Very interesting story. So, if you go back to the time of the Templars, any of you ever heard of the Templars before? The Holy Order of the Knights Templar. Well, they were actually condemned by the Catholic Church and sentenced to burn on Friday the 13th. And so Friday the 13th was the day that the Knights of the Templar were killed. And who were the Knights of the Templar? They were a sacred, secret society built by devout, spiritually led men, Christians, to protect the secrets of their order. And those of you who are familiar with Holy Blood, Holy Grail, or you're familiar of the story of Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Jeshua, you'll know that it's been said, what were the Knights Templar protecting and why were they put to death? So as I've studied and gone through, I have learned that what they were protecting was the true story of Jesus. And the true story of Jesus was that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were together. In fact, Mary Magdalene was his divine partner. She was not a whore or a prostitute. She was his spiritual equal. And after he had ascended, he actually came to her and taught her the final lesson. And she came back to all of the disciples, and this was actually really beautifully portrayed in the movie about Jesus. I forget exactly the name. We'll have to leave that in the description. And she shared with the disciples that what Jeshua had taught her, his final lesson to her, was that it wasn't that heaven was going to be returned to the earth or that God was going to come down back to the earth and everyone would be saved. It was that the kingdom of heaven is actually found within us, and that there is no need for an intermediary between us and God. There is no need for anyone else besides us to come through, to be our guide, to be the conduit for which we are essentially receiving wisdom from God. And so the Knights Templar were set to guard this truth. Now, there was another component of this. Not only did Mary Magdalene come back and share Yeshua's final teaching, but the disciples disagreed with her. They argued that she couldn't possibly have been the one to receive Yeshua's teaching, right? As a woman, why would she be the one to have this information? And so they suppressed that information, and it hasn't been for thousands of years until the incredible Mary Magdalene documents, sacred texts were found, that this truth has been slowly brought back to us. Well, not only were Mary Magdalene and Yeshua together, and not only did she receive his teachings, and not only was she considered to be his last disciple, the one who was supposed to then lead the other disciples, but they also had a child. And this child was then taken with Mary Magdalene after Jesus's ascension, Jeshua's ascension, to France. And it was through the bloodline of Jeshua and Mary Magdalene that seeded all of the royal family, many of the royal family members of France. And it was this secret, this information, that Jeshua and Mary Magdalene had divine heirs that the Knights Templar were protecting and have been protecting for thousands of years. And so it's very interesting to me that the number 13, the day that the Knights Templar were sentenced to be killed and burned alive, tortured, right, is also the same number as the number of moon cycles, the same number of women's menstrual cycles, the same number, 13, as the humps on a turtle's back. And so if today, on Friday the 13th, you have been feeling the heaviness, perhaps the heaviness that you have been feeling is the collective pain from the divine feminine, and really, in turn, the divine masculine, because if one of us is suppressed, then the other is as well. The suppression of our divine birthright as the divine feminine to share our divine gifts from source with the world. And so I felt very called as a feminine body to get onto my channel tonight on YouTube live across the world, speaking to all of you, whoever is attracted or magnetized into this video. There are no accidents. This is always divine provision. And the energy is dense, right? The energy is intense. So tonight, what I would like to do is tap into the power of healing. I live in Southern California, very close to Los Angeles, and we're preparing for the Oscars. And I've noticed that every year, right before the Oscars and the other big events in LA, I can almost feel this dense, heavy black cloud over the city. And so I actually went out and I did what's called land clearing for the land. And I felt a profound shift. And so I tuned into the energetic of the world, and I could just feel a heaviness, a density, an anger, a rage, a frustration as we go forwards into the new moon next week, March 18th. And that day I will be leading a woman's only energy clearing call to clear blocks with wealth, right? So come and join me for that. I'm going to leave a link for the private women's only Facebook group. And I'm really excited because I would like to do some energy clearing with you all. Any been feeling the density and the intensity and like fear or anxiety of these times? Yeah. Would you like to clear them? Okay. So I learned about the power of doing land clearing, and I felt like it was very important to do this tonight on Friday the 13th, on a day where the divine feminine has the secret of our power as being equal, has been suppressed and shut down Because what was really happening here was that Mary Magdalene represented the divine feminine counterpart to Joshua, her divine spiritual power, that she would have the ability to lead the congregation after Joshua left and actually preach the truth to humanity. And it just makes me wonder if she had been allowed to speak the truth of this guidance that heaven is not out there, heaven is inside of us. What kind of world would we be living in today? And a real shout out to all the divine feminine bodies and divine feminine women that for thousands of years, our value, our worth, and our brilliance has been unconsciously and sometimes very consciously suppressed. And that at this time, the year of the fire horse, there is a bit of a subconscious roar of women across the planet kind of roaring out their frustration and refusal to be dimmed or suppressed any longer. So comment if you've been feeling that. And that's the reason that I put together this new moon, this energy clearing sacred path for the divine feminine. Because for thousands of years, right, the divine counterpart for Jeshua has been named a prostitute, right? And that wasn't what she was. She was actually his partner. She was his equal. And that's what women are. And men, I know so many of you know this deep into your core and you love and respect women. And I'm so happy and thankful and grateful for you on this planet. And I know in a past life, I've been a man. I've probably been disrespectful. And so I want to make amends as well. And so tonight I wanted to tap into the intensity on the planet as there is so much coming up for so many people. Let's do a little energy work. Okay. So the first thing that I want to share with you is how effective what I'm going to share with you is. So several years back, during the time of the fires in Los Angeles, we live about an hour from LA. There was very high Santa Ana winds, and the fires, we started to have fires coming from both sides. My partner went out of town. I was on my own. I was getting nervous because the winds were so strong. The power, the electricity had been shut off. And I was basically praying to God for an answer to help keep our property safe so that he'd come home to our home and not something else. So I remember during that time, a very sacred energy healing process called land clearing or land healing, and how what I'd learned from this teacher was that just like our human bodies takes in and absorbs negative emotions or pain or sadness or grief or loss, the land also takes in and absorbs negative emotion or grief or loss. And that these negative emotions can then attract intense weather situations or phenomenons to essentially attempt to clear the land, because they said that rain itself wasn't enough to fully clear the residue of these experiences from out of the land. So I got very brave and I went out into our big, beautiful nature open space where we live. And I sat down and I thought, I'm going to do a land clearing for our land into LA. And at the moment I did it, it had been so windy, 50 miles per hour winds, like so windy. I had to hold my hat on my head. At that precise moment, the wind literally stopped. And across on another ridge, a coyote came and sat quietly. And I thought, wow, there is some powerful energy afoot right now. So I did the clearing. And as soon as I finished, the winds began again. And I thought, okay, well, here goes nothing. And the next day in the newspaper, it was reported that they had been predicting the fires to grow substantially near my home, and that those fires had not grown nearly as much as expected, and that we were safe. Wow, was I really blown away by this? Okay. Now, later on, we came into drought time where we just had not had rain for weeks, months and months and months. And I thought, I wonder what will happen if I do the land clearing on the land. Will we get rain? And sure enough, the very same evening after I did the land clearing, it rained for the first time in months. And I went, wow. Now, can doing land clearing help if we're dealing with widespread conflict on Mother Earth? I would say yes. So if you've been feeling stressed out, if you've been feeling like, what can I do to help the Earth, to help the planet, then please feel free to join me right now to do this powerful land healing and clearing to uplift Mother Earth, to uplift all beings on this earth, and to be reminded that you and I are powerful. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions are extremely powerful. We have the power to transform negative energies, and we have the power right now. Okay, so first things first is I would like to invite you to think about if you were to clear an area of land, whether that was your house or your home, your property, your town, your city, your state, your country, another country in the world, where would you clear? And I'm just going to go big tonight. I'm going to go all in, and my focus is going to be on clearing the world. Yeah, I'm feeling brave tonight. So feel free to put into the chat which area, where are you going to clear? What area of land will you be clearing tonight? It'll be very interesting to see. And I want you to rate on a scale of 0 to 10. So I'll put this on the chat. Hopefully, yeah. So rate on a scale of 0 to 10. So first, choose the area or a piece of land you'd like to clear. Good. So once you've cleared that, then on a scale of 0 to 10, rate how good you feel about that place, land, right now. For instance, if you're clearing your property, you could rate on a scale of 0 to 10. When I think about my property right now and my house and how I feel like a 5. I feel okay. I feel pretty good, but I don't necessarily feel great, right? And so by the end of this clearing, you are going to be able to sense a big difference in how you feel about the location of land that you're clearing. And for those of you just joining us, tonight I'm offering a very special treat because of the state of the world, because so much is coming up for so many people. I couldn't wait until my Wednesday all women's energy clearing call. I decided to get on here and give you some clearing. Okay, and so the first step is I want to invite you to choose which area of land, whether it's your house, your home, a property, whether it's your town, your community, whether it's your country or your state or your country, or if it's even the whole world. I want you to tune into that area of land that you would like to clear tonight. Okay, and on a scale of 0 to 10, when you tune into that area of land, how good do you feel about it? 10 is you feel really good about it, and 0, not at all. And please feel free to share in the chat which area of land, where are you going to clear, and what your number is. Okay, great. So now that you know which area of land you're going to clear, and you know the number that you feel about that area, now I want to invite you to get back into your presence. And so how the clearing works the best is if we're connecting into Mother Earth. We're connecting into the cosmic crystalline core of Mother Earth. And you're connecting into the energy of pure love and support that she is always vibrating. An example of this is when you go out into nature and you hear the crickets and you hear the birds, and your whole body and being is aligned to the magic of the frequency and the vibration and the pulse of Mother Earth. They've literally found that the earth has a pulse, just like we have a pulse. And when we align to that frequency, we align to a much more expanded energy source that can fuel us, right? I want you to take a deep breath in and out. I want you to tune into your body and your breath. And I want to invite you to remember a time where you felt very connected to the earth. You could feel the breeze, you could feel the sun, you could feel almost a magical sense of oneness. Okay, and I want you to tune into this energy of oneness. Imagine a beautiful time you've been in nature. Maybe you were at the ocean and your feet were in the sand and the water. You could feel the sun on your face. Good. Tap into that joyful feeling of Mother Earth. Tune into that frequency. Good. And take a nice deep breath in. Very good. Magical sense of oneness. Good. And a nice I want you to deep breath out. Very good. And just tune into this energy. Very good. And I want you to tune into now the area of land that you would like to clear. So whether this is just your home and the land underneath the home, whether it's your whole property, whether it's your whole neighborhood, whether it's your whole town, whether it's your whole state, your whole country, or in fact, the whole world. And I'm going to be visualizing the whole world tonight. I want you to just take a nice deep breath in and out and just tune into how big of a radius you're going to ask Source, God, Creator, and all the helpers to help us to clear tonight. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Good. And a nice deep breath out. Very good. And now we're going to call in a team of helpers. We're going to call in the energy of Mother Earth. We're going to call in the energy of all of the devas that are overlighting the land that you're working on, the devas of the Earth's atmosphere, the devas of the Earth's surface, the devas of the core of the Earth. Good. We're going to call upon the elementals of the Earth. Pan, the head elemental. We're going to call upon the ascended beings of pure love and light who look over this land, that look after you. We're going to call on the core of the earth energy of healing. We're going to call upon the lotus grid. Good. The golden lotus grid healing energies. Good. I want you to take a nice deep breath in and out. And we're going to make a command. We're going to tune into the area of land you're wanting to clear. I'm focusing on the whole earth. I'm going to tune into the energy of the earth. And wow, is it sticky and stuck and heavy? I'm going to call upon God and Source and Creator. I'm going to say, Creator of all that is. It is commanded that any dense energy in the earth, in the core of the earth, any emotional, any negative energy in the emotional, etheric, mental, physical bodies of Mother Earth, of Gaia herself, tuning into the core of the earth, it is commanded that these energies and frequencies be transmuted and transformed through the pure unconditional love and light of the Creator of all that is. We're going to ask the Christed grid. We're going to ask for the divine sacred lotus to come in to transmute and transform these energies. Everyone take a nice deep breath in and out. Good. Clearing, transmuting any density, any darkness, any negativity. Ooh, releasing it up and out of the earth where it's been stored for thousands of years. And just take a nice deep breath in. And a nice deep breath out as all those energies, we command them to be fully and completely bound and defeated, to be revealed in the truth and absolved in the light once and for all. Good. Deep breath in and out. Yawns are good. Tears are good. Where you feel a lot of energy moving is good. I'm going to ask for the Christed golden grid, the sacred grid of healing, to come through Mother Earth and cleanse, purify, transmute, and transform all the energies that may not be serving Mother Earth right now. And we're going to make the command that anywhere and everywhere these energies have been cleared and replaced, we're now going to replace. So I want you to tune into the area of land that you've been clearing. Notice how it feels. Good. And you may notice a lot of density, a lot of heaviness coming up and out. We're just going to ask God to use the sacred, pure, unconditional love and light to transmute and transform that dense energy. Woo! Calling upon the highest light, connecting into pure source energy, transmuting and transforming, bringing in the light and the love of source energy that is inexhaustible. It is infinite. You might feel some heat. You might feel some light with this transmission. Good. And we're going to just ask that God now replace anywhere and everywhere you've cleared or I've cleared the energetic grid of the earth. Whew, we're going to ask it to be filled back up with pure, unconditional love and light, golden light, unconditional, loving light, pure, unconditional love and light. Good. Everyone take a nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. Seeing, sensing as that energy fills back up, imagining the earth being filled up with pure golden light. Whew. We ask for complete unconditional love, healing, and clearing that any density, any darkness, any heaviness we may have inadvertently taken on or absorbed as we have cleared Mother Earth, Gaia, Source, that all be transmuted, be transformed, be released and cleared out of our heads, our necks, our brains, our spinal columns, our bodies, anywhere we've been carrying the pain of the earth. We ask that to be lifted up into the light now. And we just ask everyone to give everyone as many what are called spirit replacements as they need to feel lighter, to feel brighter, to feel more clear. And we're going to just ask God to give Mother Earth as many spirit replacements as she needs to heal. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Deep breath in and out, everyone. Let it come in. Oh, let it come in. Feel a lot of dark energy going up and out the head and a lot of light energy coming back in. It's been a long time. We just ask for pure unconditional love and light to fill you up, to fill the earth up. We ask for complete, pure, unconditional love healing for everyone watching this, whether it's now, whether it's in the future, recorded or live. This is so potent. When you feel that energy, please feel free to share in the chat if you're feeling this energy. You might feel it like a buzz. You might feel heat. You might feel warmth. You might feel tingling. That's because this is a divine transmission. This is source energy coming through for you and for Mother Earth to heal, to remind us the power that we hold as divine potentrixes, divine creators, holding the potency of divine source within our being, alive, vibrant, radiant, fulfilled, kind, glowing, divine beings of light. And I want you to imagine yourself filling up like a lighthouse full of light. You can imagine a beautiful golden ball of light above your head. And we're going to ask that light to fill you up from above your head, all the way down through the crown, through the spiritual body, through the God cord, through the physical body, and down all the way through the roots of your body. Pure golden light, grounding and rooting you fully and completely. Good, deep breath in and out. And I want you to tune back into the area of land that you were clearing. And we're going to ask God to now give that area of land, maybe it's the whole earth, maybe it's just your house, your home, as many spirit replacements as it needs to fully heal and to be filled with pure unconditional love and light. Transmitting, transmuting, shifting the frequency and vibration of that land, of that house, of that home. We ask for complete, pure, unconditional love healing for the land here. It's pretty amazing when you clear the land, how deeply it actually clears us and how deeply we are connected to the earth, to the land, and the sky. And so my hope with tonight, everyone take a nice deep breath in. I want you to lift your arms up and exhale. Reach your arms out. Imagine anything you took on going up and out your hands. You can brush over the top of your head. And we're going to just ask for complete, pure, unconditional love healing for the earth, for the land, that you're clearing tonight, asking for complete, pure, unconditional love, land healing and clearing for you, for the earth, for the land, and for all beings, creator of all that is coming a complete, unconditional love healing for the land, for the earth, and for all beings. We ask God, creator source, to bless this earth and to bless all of the beings on this earth, and to remind everyone watching, you're powerful. You are a creator. The thoughts that you think, the feelings that you hold contribute a gift to this earth. And so the more you stay in a state of love and of imagining the highest and best outcome, the more you will actually create this. So I want to invite you now to tune back into the area of land that you cleared. So go ahead and tune back into the area of land that you were clearing. Okay. And on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is you feel the best. Rate it again. How do I feel now about this area? And I can say, I feel like way, way better about Mother Earth than when I started. My intention was to clear Mother Earth, and I'd love to hear what area of land you wanted to clear tonight as a way to acknowledge the divine feminine portal that Friday the 13th actually is. Because Friday the 13th is really an acknowledgement that the divine feminine was suppressed and that the truth of the divine feminine has been suppressed, which is that Mary Magdalene was the divine counterpart to Jeshua. She was next in line to share his teachings, and she actually birthed a child who then became the progenitor of the entire French royalty, and then probably into England as well. And that the Knights Templar held and carried this secret, and they were killed for having this secret. And they were killed on Friday the 13th. And it's so interesting that 13 is the same number as the number of lunar cycles in the year. It's the same number as how many menstrual cycles a woman has per year. And it's the same number that turtles have on their back. They have 13 main humps, followed by 28 around the outside edge. And so if you haven't come across my work before, I am Lotus Dawn. I am Blossom with the Stars, and I bring you unique, highly accurate information from the true stars to guide us on our life journey. I also do very deep energy clearing transmissions, and I have just started a new gathering called Lotus Empress Flow, which is meeting for free the next 2 Wednesdays. We had our first Wednesday call on Wednesday, March 11th, which was so powerful to clear blocks around love. And if you'd like to watch that replay, you're welcome to join my free private Facebook group to get the access link. Otherwise, come join us for free Wednesday, March 18th, as well as March 25th, where I will be doing more specific to you and the group energy clearing. Wednesday, March 18th will be about clearing blocks to wealth. And Wednesday, March 25th will be about clearing blocks to aligning to our purpose and our path and why we're here. So please feel free to share your name, where you're from, what you're excited about as we go into the new moon time, as the new moon time, which is happening March 18th, is the single most powerful time of the lunar cycle every year to set our intentions. And so we can activate and energize each other's intentions. It's a good time to tap into what you want to create in the next several months. And if you come join my private Facebook group, which is free, you will learn a lot because I share a lot more in that group. So sending you all so much love and light. May the area or space that you cleared be filled with light, and may you be filled with light, and may the divine love of the creator of all that is be blessing you, your friends, your family, and every word, thought, and deed that you are putting out into this universe.